The air is heavy with the weight of forgotten time, as if the past itself is pressing against the walls, waiting for someone to notice. In a crumbling city, where centuries-old streets twist like the coils of a restless serpent, there exists a place that history has tried to erase: the archive of the Praeteritum. People speak of it in whispers, warning that those who enter are never the same again, yet curiosity has a way of ignoring caution. Alara, a determined researcher, finds herself drawn to it by dreams that feel too vivid to be mere imagination. In these dreams, shadowy figures drift through time, trailing echoes of lives long gone, their eyes hollow with fear, their mouths silently screaming. When she steps into the archive for the first time, the temperature drops, the air grows thick, and a subtle vibration hums through the floors and walls, almost like the heartbeat of the building itself. Shelves stretch endlessly into darkness, and the faint smell of aged paper and ink mingles with something more primal, something older than memory. As she touches the spines of the forgotten tomes, whispers rise, brushing against her mind, forming fragments of sentences she doesn't recognize yet somehow knows. The corridors seem alive, shifting slightly when she isn't looking, and shadows curl at the corners of her vision, forming shapes that vanish the instant she focuses. Each step deeper into the archive blurs the line between now and then, present and past, until Alara begins to wonder whether she is exploring the building, or if the building is exploring her. With every heartbeat, the sensation grows that she is being watched not just by eyes, but by time itself, and that the Praeteritum is not merely a repository of history, but a living, breathing entity that feeds on the minds of those who dare to uncover its secrets. By the end, you will feel the creeping unease of a past that refuses to stay buried, and the terrifying possibility that some memories, some horrors, are never truly gone. They wait, patient and eternal, for the next curious soul. Alara's exploration begins innocuously enough, flipping through yellowed manuscripts and fragile journals that speak of events long past, but soon she realizes that the words on the pages are more than records, they are invitations. Each sentence she reads seems to echo in her mind, embedding memories that feel like her own, yet belong to people she has never met. She sees flashes of centuries-old lives, a merchant betrayed in a dark alley, a child lost in the ruins of a plague-ravaged town, a scholar consumed by forbidden knowledge, all playing out in vivid detail inside her consciousness. The shadows in the archive grow restless, stretching across walls and floors as though the building itself is breathing, responding to her presence. Every room she enters seems to shift. Hallways lengthen unnaturally, doors that led one way suddenly open into unfamiliar chambers, and staircases descend into basements that were never there before. Objects move subtly when she looks away. A quill rolls across the floor, a book tilts as if to reveal hidden text, and faint scratches appear on the walls, forming symbols that twist and writhe like living things. The figure she glimpsed in her dreams begins to appear, hooded and silent, always at the edge of her vision, vanishing whenever she turns fully toward it. She begins to hear voices, not whispers this time, but clear fragments of conversations, screams, and laughter from people long dead, all overlapping and layering themselves onto her own thoughts. Her sense of time fractures, hours pass like minutes, and minutes stretch into endless corridors of confusion. Desperate for answers, Alara discovers a ritual chamber at the heart of the archive, walls covered in arcane sigils and floors etched with interlocking patterns that pulse faintly under her touch. It becomes clear that the Praeteritum is not just a place of records, but a vessel designed to trap consciousness across centuries, feeding off the fear, confusion, and curiosity of intruders. As she investigates, the memories she absorbs become more intrusive, overlaying her identity with the lives of those long gone, forcing her to relive tragedies she cannot escape. The hooded figure reveals itself more fully, no longer a distant observer but an active presence, guiding her toward completing a ritual that seems to fuse her mind with the archive itself. Objects swirl violently, shadows surge across walls, and the whispers rise to anguished cries as if the building itself is alive, resisting her intrusion yet demanding her compliance. In a desperate attempt to retain her sanity, Alara tries to destroy the ritual chamber, tearing at the sigils and scattering the materials, but this triggers a temporal backlash. She experiences herself living and dying in countless timelines, trapped in the past, present, and futures that might have been. Her consciousness splinters, and she sees infinite versions of herself, each reacting differently to the horrors of the Praeteritum, until she is unable to distinguish her true self from the echoes she carries. In the climactic moment, she confronts the entity, realizing that the only way to survive is to accept the past as part of her, to confront the collective fear and sorrow embedded in the archive, and to sever the bond without succumbing entirely. The chamber collapses around her, shadows screaming and ink bleeding from walls like veins, leaving her body physically intact but her mind forever altered. Alara emerges, or perhaps she does not fully emerge, aware that the Praeteritum's influence lingers, an eternal reminder that time is a living, malevolent force, and that the past, no matter how deeply buried, can reach out to claim the present. Alara steps, or seems to step, out of the archive into the quiet streets of the city, but nothing feels the same. The air is heavy with echoes of lives she has lived and witnessed, and the shadows around her seem to linger longer than they should, bending and twisting with a life of their own. Though the physical archive remains sealed and unassuming to the world, its presence is alive, pulsing with the memories and fears of everyone who has ever entered. Alara herself is changed, fragments of other lives cling to her mind, whispers that surface unexpectedly, dreams that bleed into reality, and the unsettling knowledge that the Praeteritum is never truly gone. It waits, patient and eternal, ready to ensnare the next curious soul who dares to uncover its secrets. And as you watch this, you may feel it too, the subtle weight of the past pressing just beyond perception, a reminder that some horrors are timeless, and some doors, once opened, can never truly be closed.